Hey guys, and welcome back to What If Soul. I'm your host, Broken Soul, and today I'm going to be giving my own version of Watch the Journeys 2021, although now it's more like 2026 in my case. Before I get started though guys, I actually want to give a big shout out to Jack, who originally tagged me to do this challenge. I'd also like to give a shout out to Crasher Plays and Reacts for creating this challenge in the first place. I'll leave a link to the original video in the description, but yeah, let's get on to the rules. Now the rules for this one are pretty simple guys. Essentially it's just asking me how I would journey through the anime of Pokemon. Who my Pokemon team would be, who my companions are, what my ambitions will be, and etc, etc, etc. Now this I'm insanely excited for. But before I do that, I have to go over the rules. It's pretty simple, just 4 real simple rules. I should have them on screen. First off, I'm only allowed to have 1 starter. Secondly, I'm only allowed to have 1 pseudo-legendary. Third, no mythics, no legendaries. And then finally, I'm able to have up to 3 Pokemon in addition with that, so I can have them in rotation. Now, let's get started. So, where am I from? Truth be told guys, I'm actually going to be from the exact same town as Ash. However, I'm going to be a couple years younger than him. So, essentially, Ash is gone. I don't know where he's doing, where he's gone, what he's doing, but I do see him on TV all the time. He goes from, of course, the Indigo League, the Silver Conference, Hoenn League, the Lily of the Valley Conference, so on and so forth. He inspires me to become a trainer, be just like him to compete in all these different tournaments. Just something about watching him gets me extra hyped. So on my 10th birthday, when I go see Professor Oak for my own Pokemon partner, I think to myself, well, who do I see that vibes the best with me? I see Ash had a Bulbasaur, I saw he had a Squirtle, and I saw he had a Charizard. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, my element has always been fire, whether it be real life, video games, whatever. Even if I do like a certain JRPG build, I gotta go with the fire types every single time. So Charizard is my guy, or rather Charmander is my guy. He is my little buddy, my partner in crime. The two of us are essentially brothers. Of course, he's fully evolved and Charizard is my partner. So we do the usual song and dance and we go and get all 8 Kanto badges. It's actually around this time that I capture 2 Pokemon who are going to accompany me on this team. My Nidoking and my Pidgeot. I catch Nidoran roughly around Viridian City. It was a little bit rambunctious, wouldn't stop tormenting me and my little Charmander when we first went through the town, but after a long fought battle, both it and my Charmander became best friends, and now he's one of my strongest on my team. As for my Pidgeot, when I caught it, it was a cute little Pidgey, but it was being terrorized by that same flock of Spearow that Ash had to deal with. Yeah, Ash never really warned us about that. So, essentially, while myself, Charmander, and Nidoran were defending Pidgey, I actually was able to capture Pidgey and we got away from this flock. So now I have all 3. Actually, a little bit more detail on it. Myself, Charizard, and Nidoking are basically 3 best friend brothers, whereas Pidgeot is the mom of the group. And by that I mean she smacks all 3 of us around whenever we do something stupid. So every single day. Anyway, we go through each of the gyms, we go through the entire region, and we make it as far as the Indigo League. In fact, we get as far as to say we make the top 8. Unfortunately, that's where our journey ends. Sad to say, but yeah. However, that does not deter me. In fact, I continue to go on through to the next league. I'm not gonna lie, I actually at the time did not know what order Ash was going in. So unknowingly, I followed in his footsteps. I went straight to Johto after this. We actually got a lot further in the Johto League. We actually win the competition, however we get stopped by the Elite Four. Anyway, still not deterred, I make my way over to Hoenn. Now in Hoenn is actually where I meet another one of my most loyal companions. While I'm traveling through a small town, I actually noticed that an entire group of people are bullying a certain white Pokemon. Yep, they're actually attacking Absol, believing it was responsible for a mudslide that happened the day before, when in reality, Absol was just trying to warn the town. Now, it took some convincing, but I was able to get the town to leave Absol alone. Absol, after seeing this, is amazed that this random human was able to take care of it. Now, I'm passing through, however, I do take the time to nurse Absol back to health and send it on its way. But I didn't realize that as I'm traveling, I have a shadow behind me. Yep, Absol's followed me for a while. So, after another battle between it and my Pidgeot, I'm able to capture it and it comes right along with me too. Now we do get a little further and further into each competition, getting closer and closer to a champion, but we're still not really doing too good. Now when I get to Sinnoh, that's where I catch my final team member as well as my pseudo-legendary, my Garchomp. More specifically, I actually catch the Gibble that tried eating mine and my Pokemon's lunch. Needless to say, we're like Ash. We don't like no one touching our food. So, after a very long chase, very long battle, and very harsh scolding from Pidgeot to the Gibble, I was able to capture it, add it to my team, and it became a very powerful Garchomp. It was also around this same time that I also caught one of my very first in-rotation Pokemon, which is my Buizel. Truth be told, I never caught Buizel the same way Ash did. I was just at a beach just hanging out when little Buizel was being mischievous. I saw it, thought, cool, battled it, and caught him. Now, moving on to Unova. Now, in Unova, not really much happened. I kind of skimmed through that a little bit. It was kind of a boring one, more of a footnote, if you will. Nothing against Unova itself, it's just not really much for me to talk about. However, I will say I did catch my second rotational Pokemon in that region. I actually caught a sock. Now, believe it or not, when I was walking through the forest, my Lucario had actually sensed a very strong aura. My Lucario followed the aura and he found a sock who was training up in the mountains. Of course, the two of them just had to get a good battle in. After the battle, I offered it to join my team. However, Sock only agreed because it wants to defeat Lucario in a single one-on-one battle. So, that's something to look forward to. Anyway though, after Unova, I make my way to Kalos. Now Kalos is where I capture my very final rotational team member. I actually captured an Eevee over there, and believe it or not, it actually did evolve into a Sylveon. Now Sylveon was the right-hand Pokemon of Pidgeot. The two of them keep everyone in line, and when they're mad, the entire team just knows to run. Anyway, it was actually in the Kalos League where I got my closest. I actually got as far as Diantha. Now with Diantha, it was a very tough battle. While I was there, I was actually able to find a Lucarioite. Now with the Lucarioite, I was able to Mega Evolve my Lucario to fight up against Diantha's Mega Gardevoir and take it down, making myself champion of the Kalos League. However, I wasn't done yet. I still wanted to continue to become more than just that. Now I'm not being selfish saying I want more and more, but I just didn't want to stop traveling. I didn't want to stop being the master. So I decided, you know what? Lance is technically a 2-time champion, being for Kanto and Johto. Let me see if I can be the world's first 3-time champion. So I had my goal set, become a 3-time champion. But before that, I decided, you know what? Let me go on vacation. Let's head over to Alola. I went there and I found out that there's actually a league here with Ash as the champion. However, me, I was completely stunned. I wanted to actually wait because Ash was my idol growing up. And now that I'm a champion of one league, and he's a champion of this league, I figured, nah, not yet. I want him to be the very last championship that I win so I can be the 3-time champion. So instead, I go over to Galar, where I find out, yeah, no, this is gonna be tough. So I go through the gym challenge over in Galar, I try to make my way toward Leon, and Leon stomps me into the ground. I may be a champion, but I'm nowhere on his level yet. Him and his Charizard basically stomped me in mine. But I was not deterred. I decided to redo a few other challenges. I was actually able to get the championship for Sinnoh as well as Hoenn, becoming a 3-time champion. It was actually around this time that I actually received a brand new device from Professor Oak, as well as information about the Pokemon World Championships. Now that I was excited about, because it meant that if I became a high enough rank, I could actually battle against Leon and Ash, as well as some of the other Pokemon champions who were out there. So I make my way into the ranks, I get to the top 8, and I'm not gonna lie, I get as far as the top 2. It's actually myself and Ash Ketchum, where the two of us battle our absolute hearts out. And I'm actually gonna cut it off there, guys. I'm not saying I want to beat Ash, and I'm not saying I want to lose to him either. I have a little bit of some pride in that. Instead, I'm gonna leave it kind of vague on where exactly I end up. I'll let you guys decide. Do I become world champion, or do I become the world's 2nd greatest Pokemon master? We'll leave it at that. Now, as for my companions and who I'm actually going with. Now, because this is taking place in the anime, however it takes place years afterwards, I'm not going to really travel with Ash or any of his companions. I do get to meet, of course, Misty, Brock, and all them because they're gym leaders, of course. I hear about May and Dawn and Serena because, hey, I watch TV too. But I do travel around with my own companions. For the most part, I'm traveling by myself, but there are a few regions where for several months or weeks on end, I'll travel with my real-life best friends, Ferret and Geronimo. Those guys are my brothers, and I will gladly travel with them any day of the week. Now, as for my ambition, like I said, I just want to be the world's greatest Pokemon master. And you guys, of course, know where that ended up. But that's pretty much it, guys, for my journeys. Now, it's actually at this point that I have to tag 5 people. Now, these first 3 are going to be Pickle Dill, Ronin Clan, and Plus. Those guys do amazing what if content just like what I do, and honestly, they are people who I look up to in real life as a YouTuber. The next person I want to tag is going to be MNJTV. He's actually one of my favorite Poke YouTubers ever. The guy's hilarious. Makes amazing videos. Guys, please show him some love wherever you can. And the last person I want to tag, now I know they're not exactly a PokeTuber, but I have been following this guy for a very long time, and honestly, I have too much respect for this guy not to tag him in something. But Nate Wants to Battle, aka Give Heart Records. Trust me guys, this man has done so much for the anime community, for the Pokemon community, and like he does amazing cover songs. Check out his channel if you get the chance to, guys. Please show him some love. But yeah, those are the 5 people I want to tag. This was my journey for 2026, and so yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. So until next time guys, this is Broken Soul saying, may y'all souls be ever bright. I love you guys. Bye.